Hey everybody. So lately we have been on an antibiotic and it has been kicking our butt. So because we've been dealing with that with the medication, we figured let's talk about how medication can affect each of us differently. So say I'm the one who's out and I take a medication. Like let's use a pain medication for example. If I take a pain medication, it's going to work differently for me than it may work for somebody else in the system, or it might not work for them at all. If someone else is out and they take a medication, then it may work really well for them and not at all for me. Or it might work differently on me than it does on them. Like just the other day, Marie took an allergy medicine because we were having terrible allergies. We're really allergic to something that's blooming right now. I have no idea what it is. But she took an allergy medicine, and one of the side effects of that is drowsiness. So she was actually getting pretty tired. But when I came back, I was fully alert. I wasn't tired at all. And that's one of those interesting things about the way that whoever is out really affects the body and the way things work. Because it doesn't really matter what the medication is. It can be affected by who's out, which is why I'm the one who generally takes the medication, and then we wait until the medication is kicked in and done whatever it needs to do before anybody switches out. We try to cooperate and make that happen. I mean, it doesn't always happen that way. It's not perfect, but we try. Because that way we're making sure that the medication that I'm taking, like for instance the medication for my bipolar 2, is doing its job. And that I'm not coming back and having issues because my medication isn't working right. And for some people, we can have different kinds of allergies. Like I have several medications I'm actually allergic to. And the others have completely different responses to certain medications that would normally cause me problems. But we generally avoid anything anyone in the system is allergic to just because, of the risk that somebody shows up and it causes them issues. We just don't want to do that. But due to the way that things are changed when we switch, whoever takes the meds may have a completely different experience than the next person who shows up, even if it was recent. Like, Marie had taken that allergy medication about 20-30 minutes before I showed up. And normally, that allergy medication knocks me out. But because I wasn't the one who took it, I wasn't really affected by it. And it's like that with a lot of different things. For instance, I can't take a medication 2 days in a row that's any sort of sedative or depressant, in terms of like its function. Any sort of, I guess, what people would refer to as a downer as opposed to an upper, because it just doesn't work on me. But yet, if someone else takes it, it'll work just fine, but only while they're out. It makes it really interesting trying to coordinate that kind of stuff. It's why I tend to take our medications at a very specific time of day when I'm the most likely person to be out for a long period. And it's not just medication that this happens with either. It's any sort of substance that we take into our body. Foods, drinks, alcohol. On the rare occasion that we consume alcohol, it does affect each of us differently. So it's one of those things that's very interesting about being part of the system, is that the way that things change from one person to the next can be fairly unpredictable in all reality. Until you get to know everyone in your system really well, it can be hard to predict exactly what's going to happen. So it's always wise to make sure that you're only taking things that are prescribed to you, and if at all possible, if it is safe to do so, that your prescriber is aware that you either have DID or OSDD, because otherwise they may be prescribing something for you that's not really going to work. So just remember, cooperate with your system as best you can. It's a journey, it's not a sprint. You don't have to rush. It takes however long it takes. But it's important, especially with medication, to try to get everybody on the same page. And if you're having trouble remembering medication, reminders can be really good. Pill counters can be really helpful. Just make sure that everybody's willing to take the medication if they need to, because they happen to be out for any stretch of period. If it's something that the body needs to survive, that everyone has something like, we have a thyroid condition, for instance, because our body literally doesn't have a thyroid anymore. So if somebody were to miss that medication, it could make us really sick, because that's an issue we share. Our body just doesn't make those hormones on its own. So any situation like that, you want to make sure you're getting everyone on board. So we hope you guys found this helpful, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Have a good day, everybody.